Om Pranam, Hari Om to everybody. One devotee today morning telephoned and she said we must share some thought on becoming one with him. It's a wonderful subject because like surrender, this is the one which we want to ultimately reach, to become one with him. We have so many clues, guidance towards this. Not that we lack anything, but still somehow we are unable to move towards that. First of all, when I am prompted that I should become one with him, will it not be better if I try to understand these two expressions? I should become one with him. I, capital H. I must have some idea about the I must have some idea about the him. So they say, Shastras say, to easily understand, there are two I's. In Vivek Chudamani, Adi Shankara clearly brings before us these two things. What are the three things? Two things?
Two words.
No. One verse. One must strive for the discrimination between the individual soul and the eternal soul. When I say I should become one with him, though it may not be 100% correct in reality, to begin with, I should know that there is an individual soul and the eternal soul. Why I say so? Because that is why I feel I should become one with him. Because I have not realized the eternal self, that is why the urge to become one with him is there. That is his grace. If we are in ignorance, we will not ask for this. By his grace, he has awakened us, and now he makes us to feel that I should become one with him. So here he says, one must strive for the discrimination between the individual soul and the eternal self. Everything comes in a mixed form in our life. We have to sift. When the husk and the rice, as soon as we put it in the huller, it gets mixed. So one part may be, the machine has been devised in such a way that it will remove the husk as and when the hulling is going on. Through one part we will be getting the rice, the other part we will be getting the husk. So there is some device by which it is separated. So that is what is meant here. We have to sift. It's called sifting, no? Not shift, SIFT. We have to sift the real from the unreal. This is a challenge posed to the human intellect. In each one of us, there is an individual self and an eternal self. The individual self is the I, and the eternal self is the witness of this I. When we use the word I, our fingers points towards our body. Every time we are not learning Vedanta, we are trying to understand, we want to become one with Him. We have fairly an idea, an intellectual idea about with whom I should become one with Him. So the method we are now trying to understand from Vivek Chudamani, that he says, when you have, first of all, you should have this basic idea that with whom you should become one with Him. And who is to become one with that? So we have to do a lot of this manana there. So in each one of us, there is an individual self and an eternal self. Individual self is the I. Normally when we say I am going, I am reading, I am seeing, I am walking, I am eating, I am smelling, touching, thinking, talking. I. That I. Individual self. The eternal self is the witness of this I. How do we understand the witness of this I? Anything strikes to anybody?
Witness the sound.
Witness the sound.
சாட்சி பாவம் சொல்றேன். சாட்சி பாவம்.
அது ஆமாம், அதுதான் அது எப்படி புரியறது? புரியறதா அது? When we watch ourselves, here somebody says, when we watch ourselves, we can experience the presence of the witness. Anything else? It's all right. Everything is right. We are trying to dig out, It is subjective subject. So limitations are there. Immediately the word will not come because it is not an intellectual thing. We are trying to figure out something and we are putting it through the words which it can be at least conveyed to some extent. When I want to become one with Him, I must know who is to become one with whom. So then we come to know I am there, the individual is there, and I should become one with the indwelling reality which Papa says, the Ram, subtle and mysterious power Ram. Yes, that much is intellectually clear. Now the Vivek Chudamani says, in us there are two I's. One is the individual I and the other is the eternal I. Individual self and the eternal self. And the eternal self is the witness of this I. So when we use the word I, our finger points towards our body. Actually, it implies a profound reality hidden inside our psychophysical system. In the absolute sense, it refers to the reality that witnesses the I. That is the eternal self. But in our deluded state, I is understood as the individual self. So this pronoun I has a profound meaning. It is an important datum needing serious investigations. Another point is, the moment I say I, in a sober atmosphere like this, where we are trying to understand the I, we try to understand where from this I comes. The notion of I comes where from where? Only through manana, not through anything.
Swamiji,
the witnessing I இருக்கும்போது small I இருக்கிறதுக்கு சான்ஸே இல்லை. அப்போ
witnessing I
வந்து small I இல்லாத போதான் அந்த witnessing ஐயே வந்து
அப்படியா?
small I இருக்கும்போதும் அதோட டாமினேஷன் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கும். அப்போ அது சரண்டர் ஆகி அது விட்னஸிங் ஐயை சரண்டர் ஆகும்போது தான்
all of you are now sitting in your own place, you know.
நான் எனது என்ற பாவத்தை விட்டுவிட்டு உள் சென்று நான் என்ற அந்த ஒன்றை நினைத்து பார்த்தல், ஒன்றாகி விடுதல் அதனுடன்.
Avaliye.
Silence or surrender or anything we can call.
We were not able to do it, you know. So we are now trying to understand in a different way, not through what we have heard. No, the point raised, the moment this witness consciousness comes, the I, the individual sense is not there. It is 100% right, but can we practice it?
இந்த பிரம்ம முகூர்த்தம் பண்ணும்போது வருது.
சரி. So the
guidance or without guidance by oneself can understand easily.
So then can we say that when we want to know, I want to become one with him, which is the ultimate culmination of all spiritual practices, no?
Yes.
Forget about everything. The ultimate the culmination of all spiritual practices is to become one with him. So we should know that, and we have not been able to get stabilized in it, even if we are blessed with some moments of that experience. So now view it from that angle. Each one is looking at from one's own angle. We would have tried something. So what is it? Probably we may not be able to explain. But let this question.
Go inside and feel the experience only through experience. It is indescribable.
So we need not express. It is difficult to express. That means the I, you start with this I, known I. You start with the known individual. And then you are finding out where from the notion of I comes. If the mind refuses to cooperate with us, as Papa said, we can bring a form. And then we, out of our devotion to that power, we feel that the power, I want to become one with that power. Power comes out in the form. Is something, we have to keep on viewing it. When Nandanar heard from his boss, Vedigar, that about the glories, Mahima of Chidambaranadar, he developed a feeling to become one with him. It was not an abstract idea, it was the form. And we all know at the end he became one, dematerialized himself. So the choice is placed before us. Either you go through this Viveka Shakti of analyzing the I, where from the I thought has come, then suddenly, as somebody said, the process gets stopped. Probably for a quarter second. Again the individual I comes. So I want to become one with you. Because this I, the present I know that it was not there when I was in the form of a seed in my mother's womb. This I know that when I am in the daily, when I am in the deep sleep state, it is not there. That is why we say we had good sleep. But when we get up, something in us says we had good sleep. So that means somebody is witnessing. So our scriptures keep on telling us, Yat Sopna Jagara Sushuptim Avaidinityam Tad Brahmam. That which one which witnesses, Jagrata Sopna Sushupti, waking, dream and deep sleep state, I am that. So when we want to know the witness, there are so many methods, but the reading and knowing it is not going to give us. Here the effort, individual effort has to be done. Two ways it can be done, either through this viveka, this discriminating faculty, or through bhakti. We bring a form, superimpose the all-pervading reality to that form, and then I want to become one with you. Namdev could go to Purandara Panduranga and ask him questions. He gets the answer. So Bhaktotamas have made us know. Purandaradas, Tyaga Brahmam, even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when then Narendra, when he told Ramakrishna Paramahamsa that this is only a emotional ebullition, what you are showing is only an emotional ebullition, it has nothing to do with the divinity. When the tears were coming, immediately like a child he went and stood before Bhavadarani Amma and then say, see this Narendra is telling, it is all illusion. Is it so? He got the answer. No, it is a reality. And religiously he comes and says, Amma says it is not an illusion. That feeling. So these two aspects are there, depending upon our taste, temperament, aptitude, inclination, our habits, we can use anything. Because we should know, yes, the power behind the talking, this is what I want to know. I must become one with that power. Now I am identifying with the speaking. the speaking process, seeing process, the seeing process brings the seer and the seeing, brings the power to see in the seeing. It is so close, we are unable to differentiate. It is very close. So when he says the individual self is the I, the eternal self is the witness of the I, so why we are not in a position to do that? Because it is so close. Talking and the power behind the talking. Smelling and the power behind the smelling. Thinking and the power behind the thinking. Hearing and the power behind the hearing. It is in us, within us. It is so close, but when the acting, when the seeing takes place, the recognition of the power behind it is not there. And immediately the individual self asserts, I am seeing. Whereas the power inside is the one which is seeing through the eyes, the life. Each one has to dig,
Is it Bhakti Bhava, Swamiji?
Bhakti Bhava is what we said, all Bhaktotamas, they also want to become one with the Bhagavan. They also wanted to become one with the Bhagavan. And so they unknowingly superimpose the power on a form, and because of their dedication was so total, their faith was so total, their trust was so total, they were able to, every time they were able to feel the difference between the Bhakta and Bhagavan. And the Bhakta always finds joy in communicating, joy in becoming one with him, and at the same time functioning as a Bhakta. In Papa's case, that is the one. It's a wonderful topic. Becoming one with him. I should become one with you. Why have I not been able to do so? Because I am not clear about myself, I am not clear about you. Please, help me to clear about this. Both are valid, both have got relevance. Not that one does not have any relevance. Power by itself cannot pursue, So power needs a non-power entity to know about the power. So that is what we are all in that process. So that is why now he is prompting us to direct our entire attention towards this. So when we take to Ramnam chanting, that is why he said, I am chanting the name of the one who is prompting me to chant. I am chanting the name of one who is prompting me to chant. The power to chant is there, I am there. The moment I become aware, I don't know now. The moment I become aware, not knowing, the moment I realize the power, then I become one with him, and at the same time, I express myself as the chanter. So we will just read out, these are all the background details, because nothing can be put in clear words. It is purely an inward journey, or in other words, surrender to the power. then the question does not arise at all. He is very clear. Actually, it implies a profound reality hidden inside our psychophysical system. In the absolute sense, it refers to the reality that witnesses the I, that is the eternal self. But in our deluded state, I is understood as the individual self. In this body, there is an individual self as well as the eternal self. These are the appearing self and the real self, respectively. There is the I and there is one who witnesses the I. The I is in mundane affairs. This I, our present individual, eating sweet and bitter fruits, every time it receives a severe blow, it looks up at the one who is witnessing in silent majesty and moves up a little, aspiring to become like that. So when we are involved in various affairs, identifying ourselves as that. Suppose I am a grihastha, I identify myself totally as a grihastha. Suppose I am working, I identify myself totally with the professional being, like the social being. I do not recognize that the power is there in me. So because I have forgotten, I have not realized the power in me, I am subject to ups and downs, various, pairs of opposites. Today I am happy, next day I am unhappy, I feel sad, the next day I am feeling jubilant, I fail, I succeed, I gain, I lose, I am praised, I am bullied, I am insulted. So all these things, affect me a lot. At that time, they are bringing the analogy of the two birds in the tree. The two birds.
Whether it refers to ego, Swamiji?
Correct. Ego. So every now and then, because of our satsang, because of the grace of our spiritual preceptor Guru, who says God is within, on some occasion, we try, amongst the so-called adverse trying moments, we have a glimpse, on a particular moment, the presence of that reality. Then everything becomes calm. We see a saint who is calm, serene at every turn of events. We read the biographies of masters. We somehow observe the people who remain calm and quiet. All these things help us to suddenly, why should I? That's what he says. Every time it receives a severe blow, it looks up at the one who is witnessing in silent majesty and moves up a little, aspiring to become like that. That is why our, in one of the, I don't know where it is, you remember Puja Swamiji in the last, you got that silent sage? In the letter addressed to us, all of us, he mentioned certain clues. If it is not there, I will take it. Is there? Is there? Vanda. I have got. No. Sorry, it's not here.
അതിലില്ല റിഫ്ലക്ഷൻസ്
No. We will just read out something else. Beloved Papa's presence is not only confined to the bhajan hall or homa mandir, he is not only all pervasive in this holy Anandashram, but it lives and moves in and through us. We are trying to understand, to become one with him, okay? We carry his presence. This could be, it could be a little more easier to hear, not easier to practice, easier to hear than trying to understand the witness eye and the individual eye. We carry his presence. Whose presence? Beloved Papa's presence. When we adhere to truthfulness, we carry his presence when we are kind, considerate, compassionate. How to become one with him, some clues. We carry his presence when we refuse to serve even 1 inch from the path of purity. We carry his presence vibrantly, dynamically, forcefully when we live our life in a divine manner with determination, humble intention, firm resolve, sincerity, earnestness. When we are trying to pursue a divine way of living, in thought, word and action, we are manifesting beloved Papa. We have become one with him. We are a vibrant center of that which the world knows as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas. We become a lamp through which his light shines. We become the vessel to hold the living waters of his spirituality, his sublime spiritual teachings. When the question he gives us from how to become one with him, practical suggestions, a value-based life, a pure life, a selfless life, freedom from vested interest, selfishness, self-interest, quality, care and concern for others. Forgiving, adapting to any new circumstances. Think. So when we are trying to pursue a divine way of living in thought, word and action, we are manifesting beloved Papa. Let us not therefore confine beloved Papa Swami Ramdas to the bhajan hall, to the homa mandir and Anandashram. Make ourselves a vehicle of his living presence so that our life, by our life, others also become awake and illumined. They feel his divine presence through our life, and their life is also divinized. We move amongst this world of men as the candle imparting our light to anyone whom God brings us in contact with. Is it becoming clearer?
Yes.
So the question was, we started with how to become one with him.
100% virtuous life is as well becoming one with him. You can just tell me. 100% virtuous life is as well becoming one with him.
100%?
Can't hear you, uncle. Please tell properly.
100% virtuous life is as well becoming one with Papa.
100% virtuous life means becoming one with Papa.
So that means it is not merely by an intellectual expedition that we become one with him. People like us, this is the best way. We cannot go to a solitary place and sit there and parade before us the different thoughts and find out the I thought and go to the origin of that I thought. There are methods. But what is the use of hearing that? None of us will be able to do that. We are in the midst of so many activities. So for us to become one with Him, these are all the ways. Our gurus have shown us by their very life. So now, first of all, we should know. We have to go. We have to bring our guru minus their form. Then only we will be able to do it. We should bring our guru's ideal before us through that form. Okay. Ideal. There could be so many ways. Don't think that there are no other ways. There could be so many ways to become one with Him. But people like us who are in the midst of so many commitments, duties, obligations, commitments, at the same time we also want to become one with Him. How are we to become one with Him? We cannot become one with Him straight away. We have to set ourselves on a process of becoming one with Him. And that process itself will give us joy. We need not bother about the end result. So the process is to move from me to we to Him. To lead as much as possible, to lead a selfless life. A pure life. So this particular expression gives us that, how to do that. Beloved Papa's presence is not only confined to the bhajan hall or Homa Mandir, he is not only all-pervasive in this holy Anandashram, but it lives and moves in and through us. So how can I know that? There Mataji's explanation helps us. Omnipresent Papa's ashram is the whole universe. To know that he has set up this ashram. Omnipresent Papa, ever present. Not the form which departed in 1963. But the ideal conveyed through that form. Ideal cannot be ideal, we can understand the ideal through a form. So we carry His presence when we adhere to truthfulness. We carry His presence when we are kind, considerate, compassionate. We carry His presence when we refuse to swerve even 1 inch from the path of purity. We carry His presence vibrantly, dynamically, forcefully when we live our life in a divine manner. With determination, humble intention, firm resolve, sincerity, and earnestness. When we are trying to pursue a divine way of living in thought, word, and deed, we are manifesting beloved Papa. We are a vibrant center.
Yes, Swamiji, 100%.
When we are a vibrant center of that which the world knows as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas. This is the one which Puja Swamiji wrote in his last letter to all of us, that we should become, looking at us, people should know that our Guru, in some other words he has mentioned, that we should act as expected by beloved Papa. So every now and then I must check up whether it is in conformity with, in line with Papa's teachings. In that way we are moving, it's a process of moving towards Him, and finally we will become one with Him. When we are trying to pursue a divine way of living in thought, word and action, we are manifesting beloved Papa. We are a vibrant center of that which the world knows as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas. We become a lamp through which His light shines. We become the vessel to hold the living waters of His spirituality, His sublime spiritual teachings. So today He is giving us, you try to assimilate the teachings and try to lead a life, because you cannot now, just like what Papa did, exclusively you cannot sit. You and I cannot sit. Why you? You and I cannot sit exclusively for this. So we have to devise a workable methodology where we are in the midst of all activities, and at the same time we are constantly reminded of the goal to be reached. So as much as possible we will try to move from me to we. As much as possible we will try to ensure that vested interest, that means the selfish interest, is there in, we should ensure to see that selfish interest is not there at any point of time. I may fail, I may forget, but as soon as I fail, I must be able to pull me up and free myself from it. And quality, care and concern for others. Even when we go to the toilet, suppose we see an ant there playing, they don't know that. Suppose if we go and simply pour water, it will die. So quality, care and concern means any step when we do that, we must be conscious of this truth. When we take the brush and go to the wash basin, before we open the tap to rinse our brush, we will normally look at the wash basin whether there are any ants or insects there. If it is there, we try some method by which they are saved and then we put it. Like that. That is called quality, care and concern. These are the things which we can do. There are certain things which we cannot do. Though there are quality and concern will be there. And as much as possible, 100% even if we are not in a position to do, as much as possible. In ashram nowadays, every now and then, cobras or some poisonous snakes are found. Immediately, we inform somebody and that person will come. Our own man, one of the person also can take, they will go and catch hold of the neck and then put it in a vessel and then take it. If it is poisonous snake, we are supposed to go and leave it at the snake park nearby. There is a snake park. Even yesterday also one was found. So how does it come now? Immediately, nobody goes with a stick and kill it, We cannot go and embrace a snake. We have to keep ourselves away from the snake. But at the same time, we tacitly recognize that it has got its own right to live in this world. So, what to do now? I cannot go along with it. But it can be taken by people. God has given also certain people snake catchers. They have got their own methodology to catch hold of the snake. And then they put it in a bag, then take it out. And the person who is handling, he was bitten by snake. And everybody said he has stopped. But we saw him again coming and doing the same seva. So, okay, that's one example we are telling. So, to the extent possible, considerate, compassionate. So, we should start from the scratches. We carry his presence, we want to become one with him. We carry his presence when we adhere to truthfulness. When we want to become one with him, we carry his presence when we are kind, considerate and compassionate. When we want to become one with him, we carry his presence when we refuse to serve even 1 inch from the path of purity. If we want to become one with him, we carry his presence vibrantly, dynamically, forcefully when we live our life in a divine manner. With determination, humble intention, firm resolve, sincerity, earnestness. When we are trying to pursue a divine way of living in thought, word and action, we are moving towards becoming one with him. So some clues. So there are 2 methods by which we can do now, we have found out. Either through Vichara Marga or through Bhakti Marga. Through Vichara Marga, people have scaled the height. That is why Vivek Chudamani, in Vivek Chudamani, Adi Shankara brings it out beautifully. We were reading a few portions of it. And he says, the eye is in mundane affairs, eating sweet and bitter fruits. Every time it receives a severe blow, it looks up at the one who is witnessing in silent majesty inside us, not outside, and moves up a little. In this way, it goes on moving until one day it realizes that it is one with the witnessing self, becoming one with him. That it never existed separately. What existed was the supreme witnessing self alone. The little I was only a reflection of the witnessing self. This is how they put it. And this Sakshi, those who are interested to take up Vichara Marga, they have given all these clues. What is the wonderful reality? We see, and at the same time we see also our act of seeing. Beautiful. We see, and at the same time we see also our act of seeing. That is the witnessing self, called Sakshi in Sanskrit. The Supreme Self is the witness witnessing the individual self. We have to discriminate between them and be established in the Supreme Self. That is why the Papa says, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. It is in the stillness that we know and realize God. Because the chanter we see, and at the same time we also see our act of seeing. That means we see we chant at the same time we also become aware of our act of chanting. We chant and at the same time we become aware of the act of chanting. Somebody asked about witness, You can try. Nothing wrong in it. Vicharamarga will also help. Along with the other one, Vicharamarga will also definitely help. That is why Papa used the word, you are chanting the name of one who is within you, who is making you to chant. He used the Vicharamarga also. That is why he was able to say that. So we see, and at the same time we see also our act of seeing. That is the witnessing self called Sakshi in Sanskrit. This Sakshi has entered even in psychology today. The Supreme Self is the witness, witnessing the individual self. We have to discriminate between them and be established in the Supreme Self. Our waking self is confined to the waking state. It has no place in dream and sleep. The dream self is confined to the dream, having no reference to waking and sleep. Both waking and dream sleep disappear in the sleep. Yet there is one entity witnessing all the three selves and registering their deeds. It is that which says, I dreamt, I woke up, I slept. That I is not the waking, the dreaming, the sleeping I. By just hearing, we will not be able to understand. Our waking self is confined to the waking state. It has no place in dream and sleep. The dream self is confined to dream, having no reference to waking and sleep. Both waking and dream selves disappear in sleep. Yet there is one entity witnessing all the three selves and registering their deeds. It is that which says, I dreamt, I woke up, I slept. That I is not the waking, the dreaming, or the sleeping I. More we will take it up tomorrow. A very, 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 very thought-provoking and inspiring topic. So, in a nutshell, we should know that our ultimate end is to become one with Him. It can be through Vichara Marga, it can be through Bhakti Marga. And in Vichara Marga, we try to see and the act of seeing, We see and also we see the act of seeing. We chant, we also observe, we also feel, we also experience the act of chanting. Like that we keep on going within, so that we set our mind on this process whenever we are provided with such an opportunity. Don't think that one move will go in vain. Any move toward this, it will be beneficial for the next step. Because we are moving, definitely moving from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3. So every day when we do this chanting, let us try this also. We chant, we also see the act of chanting. One method. When we come out, none of us will be able to do the chanting throughout, or experimenting this inward journey, or this Vichara Marga, because profession is there, field, family is there, society is there, so many things are there. So when we do that, we try to lead a value-based life. When we try to lead a value-based life, meaning quality care and concern, compassion, forgiving, act with a touch of love, touch of perfection, forgiving and forgetting. If somebody has done anything, mentally forgive him. No? When we do that, the mind becomes slowly become matured enough, pakka, to feel his presence, with whom we want to become united. Actually, an act of compassion immediately makes us aware. We are not aware, that's all. Somebody you happen to see and he asks something, immediately you see your response, you become one with him. No? When we become one with the creation, we are becoming one with the Creator himself. Because later on we will come to know the Creator has sent his creation to us only to touch and kindle this aspect in us. So compassion is easily we can understand. Love, compassion, forgiveness, no? Otherwise the me and mine will be dominant, no? So these are all some of the ways by which Papa is now touching and kindling us, how to become one with him. We will try tomorrow also some other aspects. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. 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 Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om to everyone of you.
Step by step.